Welcome everyone to USFastTrack's Roundtable. My name is Michael Jacobzak.
Hey everyone, it's Matthew Jacobzak.
And this week's discussion will be on obviously what's trending in the market right now is Detroit's bankruptcy filing. It's actually a great discussion because we get this question quite a bit, being from Toronto. We usually get people asking us, hey, what's our opinion on the Detroit market? And what we usually do when we get that question is we usually flip it and ask them what they think about it. The main 2 points that come back is usually they like it because it's close to obviously where they live in Toronto, so proximity, and also 2, you could buy cheap property that can cash flow pretty high. Now my thoughts on this, just to sum it up kind of fast, is with proximity, if it's 5 hours or 5, 6, 7 hours depending where you are, at the end of the day, that's a market. Detroit's a market that most likely will not be properly managing yourself, regardless of how close you are to that market. It's a very hands-on, very hands-on due to what's happened there. So it's usually best to partner with a property manager that knows the market. And 2, with the high cash flow, we'll go into that a little bit later on. But first, let's go into Matt's going to be talking about the bankruptcy with Detroit and what's happened there.
Thanks, Mike. At the height of its industrial power, Detroit was a staple in the U.S. economy. In 1950, it was the engine of the U.S. economy as Motor City and a gateway to the middle class. It had a population of almost 2 million, and today that number sits around 700,000 and has become the biggest U.S. city to file for bankruptcy. The result of this slow decline in population, which is a very good indicator or a bad indicator of a good market, you need jobs, you need a sustainable population growth to be a good emerging market, and in 1950 Detroit was that. Today, it's the complete opposite.
This is actually a great point that you just made. We've recently just launched our program for Canadians to learn where to buy and whatnot, and this is one of our fundamentals of obviously buying a market that's increasing in population. Just for when it's increasing, that means there's a demand, and obviously if it's decreasing, there's a lack of demand. So it's a good point there, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this is pretty much expected, and the city will need to take a few steps back before they can move forward. But let's take a few look at the stats here, get a better idea. Detroit has $17 billion in debt currently. The crime rate is 5 times the national average. And whenever I looked at spotcrime.com, Detroit always looked the worst with gun crime and all that. 78,000 abandoned buildings currently in Detroit. Around 40% of street lights don't work, so you can see why there's so much crime. 66% of ambulances are out of service. Median home price, $33,800. Like, that is unbelievable to me. College attainment, 20%. Unemployment is 9.8%. The national average in the 7s right now. Median household income, $40,000. Forbes listed has it at number 195, best city for business and careers. You can see though that's a high number, so it's not that great. 196 for job growth, 170 for education. So not looking so good on Forbes, and in general with all the stats. The next steps for Detroit would have to be they must restructure their debt, rebuild the city so people want to be attracted to the city limits and want to live there, and overall just make it a much more livable city, bring it back to the old days.
That's very good, Matt. Yeah, exactly. So basically what's going to happen with Detroit, if their bankruptcy is approved, there's going to be over 100,000 unsecured creditors basically going after the diminishing piece of pie that's left in Detroit there. Back to the second question of there's cheap property. We buy in fundamentals, and economics states that it doesn't matter if there's an abundance of supply. It does not matter if there's no demand. To me, owning a whole subdivision is no good if it takes you 12 months to fill the properties, another 6 months to collect second month's rent. It's just a disaster. I'd rather own one property that cash flows and it's easy to fill, that there's a demand in a great market. It just makes, for us being Canadians, conservative people, a lot easier. And I always say, let the locals have that market, because Detroit, like Matt was saying, with crime is night and day, where we're not not used to that. To me, like you said, 40% of the lights don't work. Imagine driving around your area and the roads need maintenance and the lights are off, and you're not supposed to be down there after 6 o'clock. That's not fundamentally a good market to be in. I always say you don't get rich by buying crap. But that's our opinion. At the end of the day, do your own research. There's money to be made in every market. It's whether or not if it fits your criteria. That's the main thing. So we appreciate you guys stopping by this week. Matt, any last words?
Any questions on this market, other markets, anything to do with the U.S., comment on this video, visit us next week on the roundtable, visit us at USFastTrack.ca, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks a lot, guys. Happy investing. Hope to see you on the other side.